From Central Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here on Fox 59 Tonight. I'm Cameron Little. We appreciate you downloading our new Fox 59 Smart TV app, which you can find on Apple, Roku, or on your Fire TV. And if you're watching on Roku, if you're watching on YouTube, that is, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss a second of the conversations that we have every night at 8 o'clock right here on Fox 59 Now. We're talking about everything from the White House to your house on this show. And one of the people that you invite into your house is also here at Fox 59. You know, I've been introducing you to some of the coolest people here at the station. And I know there are people like, now, why does he keep saying that? But he hasn't invited me on the show. It doesn't mean you're not cool. I just haven't got down to your department of cool yet. You know, I'm getting around to everybody. But I do want to introduce you to a bright light on the Fox 59 morning show, Miss Kit Hanley, who is joining us this evening. Kit, thank you so much for making a little time so we can introduce the people to the Kit Hanley.
Cameron, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm honored that I'm the coolest department of cool to you.
Yes.
That means so much to me. And
Yes,
hello, everyone who's watching. So happy you're here.
Kit, how long have you been at the station now? It's been over a year.
Yeah, just over a year, about 14 months now. And we've done so much while I've been here. It's been crazy.
Been all over, tornadoes, fever, Pacers, racers, lots of crime, unfortunately.
All that,
But you have and you've anchored some of the weekend morning shows, so you've done a lot, and people know the name Kit Hanley. If they've ever seen you in person, then they know that you're very tall.
Yes, I am very tall. I'm almost 6'1", and in heels, I'm about 6'3". And that's the comment I've gotten a lot, seeing people and viewers in public is, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were that tall. They always think I'm a lot smaller. I guess on air makes us look a lot tinier. So that's the first comment I always get is like, dang girl, you're tall.
You are tall, and the viewers who have watched it all know that you are also an athlete.
Yes, that is right. And I know they mention it a lot during the morning news on Fox 59. They love to hype me up, and I appreciate all the love. But I swam at LSU, and then I also swam all throughout high school, and I've been a swimmer since I was 4 years old. So those 4 years at LSU, some of the best years of my life. And the water is definitely my second home, honestly, my first home. So I'm very happy to be here, and I do love the water. I'm a swimmer, so any swimmers out there, what's up?
Didn't you get to swim in some Olympic level waters when the trials were here?
Yes, I did. So I know you mentioned that we cover fever, pacers, racers, all of that. But my all-time favorite thing that I've covered since I've been here, and I feel so grateful that I was here while the Olympic swim trials were here, because that was a dream come true for me. And I even got to swim in the pool with Eric Graves. You know him, the tall ginger. So we swam in the pool one morning where all of the Olympic athletes were competing, and we were even taught and coached by some Olympic athletes who had competed in the 2008 and 2012 games, like Jason Lezak. And if you know swimming, you know that name. He is a certified legend. That was just, honestly, Cameron, ooh, I peaked. I peaked.
Yeah. Is that probably one of your most memorable stories you got to cover since you've been here at Fox?
Yes, I would absolutely say that one takes the cake. But even now, the month of May and the month of June in Indianapolis, as you all know, has just been incredible. I mean, it's been a nonstop frenzy from racers to pacers this time around. But the Indy 500, I got to cover as a reporter for the first time on pit road. And that was iconic. That was so cool. We got to be so close to the drivers and their pit crew and just really feel the energy. And so going from May to now June, I mean, we're still in the playoffs. It feels like it's been forever. But
as it should. We haven't made it this far in 25 years, and we will see what the Pacers do, but I am hopeful that we will have a championship trophy and a banner here in Indianapolis this year. You know what it's like to be an athlete, and it's just a lot of trash talk about Indianapolis and Halliburton, how he's not a star or how he's not a superstar. And he said something the other day that I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. He said he got a call from Steve Nash, who said, Hey, man, there's a lot of guys who've played for a long time and don't get to be who never got to play in a championship,
Right.
um, game, so enjoy the moment, like, eh but then you have people saying, "Oh, he doesn't deserve to be there," and all this, like, if you win the games, then you go. It's not
Right.
I guess it's I guess maybe some of the difference in basketball and football, where basketball, it seems like it's far more rare for a team to get to the championship because you have so many more games than it
Mhm.
is with a, uh, with the Super Bowl and football. It seems like your odds are better in
Yeah.
football than it is basketball, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, a lot of trash talk about Indianapolis, and
Man.
you don't count out Halliburton and the Pacers until the clock is 0.
Exactly that, and that's why you can never go to bed before the 4th quarter because
Mhm,
it just changes every time. You never know if they're down by 20, if they're up by 10. I mean, the Pacers in the 4th quarter is just some voodoo magic, and
mhm,
that's what I've been saying in my scripts, but
mhm,
like you said, there's a lot of trash talking in basketball. People always count out Indiana. I
mhm.
still don't know why. Stephen A., if you're watching,
Yeah,
bye. See
Stephen
you
A.
later.
And he refuses
Biggest
to
hater.
he's a huge hater, and he even refuses to still be like now the other night I saw him, he was like, "Alright, TJ McConnell," like, "Alright, that's a bad dude," but he still won't change that OKC's gonna win, like, I don't know. I liked the NBA on TNT better,
Oh my gosh, Shaquille O'Neal, that is
and
my
and
guy.
Chuck.
Oh, and Chuck, man, I was so sad when that final broadcast, I really did tear up a little bit because it's just such an iconic network.
Mhm,
And now we have ESPN, and no disrespect to ESPN, but just over the years, man, steady downfall. I just
it's
don't really trust their coverage as much or their analysis. It's just not the same. It doesn't hit the same.
well, and I don't even think I know people were like, "Stephen A. Smith should be non-biased." I'm like, I don't think that he has to be non-biased. It's sports. We're all
Right.
rooting for somebody.
Right.
But when somebody is doing the doggone thing like the Pacers are, could you at least acknowledge that, all right,
Please.
these boys aren't can't count them out.
Right, and I really think he prides himself on being that hater. Like, I was
Yes.
watching the pregame show before game 3, and, Aaliyah, right? Aaliyah, she's one of the main anchors, and
Mhm.
she's amazing,
Mhm.
and she was written for the Pacers, so shout out, girl,
Mhm.
but she was telling the other announcers, including Stephen A., like, "Hey, you were in the Pacers hype video talking trash, like,
Mhm.
you are motivating them. How does
Yes.
it feel to be known as the biggest haters in Indianapolis?" And Stephen A. was mad.
Mhm.
I was like, "How are you gonna be mad if that's the narrative you're writing?"
Well,
So
but I also think it's part of the Stephen A. act because out of all the people we're talking about right now, who are we talking about? We're talking about Stephen A.
Right.
And
Oh,
and
okay,
therefore he's like, "But you're
okay.
still talking about me, right? You didn't talk
True,
about
true,
anybody
true,
else."
true.
So it's all part of his game. But I did see that Jay-Z was betting on the Thunder, and he's losing on that bet right
Oh,
now.
yeah,
So
$1,000,000, by the way.
that's rough. That's rough. Maybe they'll decide to shift a little bit because I think we got this one.
I think so too. Pacers in 6. Who knows? Pacers in 5.
I want to see 5,
You wanna see 5? I wanna
but
see 6.
the more games they do, the more money everybody makes.
Yep, that's very
So
true.
there's not a real incentive to do a game be done in 4 when you can stretch out and have more watch parties, and then the bars are full. You've
Yes.
got more commercials. When you've got more people downtown, you got more people out spending money. So I think there is something to having more than 4 games.
Absolutely, and winning at home, just the way Indianapolis has really welcomed the NBA Finals, including that Gamebridge watch party. I
Hmm.
mean, 1,000 tickets for $20 each. There's another little incentive. I
Yeah.
mean, they're making money hand over fist. It's good for the city, it's good for the Pacers, and so, you know what? Respect.
Well, I went to the game 2 watch party on Sunday
Oh, you
at
did?
Gamebridge, yep. And I went with my friends who had also gone to game 1, and they talked about just how much more packed it was, that they had people all the way up in the nosebleeds, and I was like, "Do you realize we're all here to watch TV?"
I was thinking the same thing as I was on my couch eating some popcorn. I said, but then again, it's like you're in that atmosphere
Yes.
with like-minded hardcore fans, and it's just that energy, you
Yes,
know?
it is the energy, and when they win, of course, they lost game 2, so it wasn't
Yeah.
as fun, but it would've been cool to be there for a win and get all that energy, that is there.
Yes.
Because even when they would score, I mean, that first quarter on game two, people were jumping out of their seats because it looked like, Pacers came out the gate pretty strong on
Oh,
that
they
one,
did. Yep. Hmm.
and then they couldn't keep up. But nevertheless, I was like, yeah, there's 20,000 people in here, and we're all here to watch TV
But you know what? Together.
together.
And we love that.
And I still treated it like a game. I bought 2 hot dogs and a pretzel,
Ooh.
and I had a strawberry daiquiri. So
Yes,
I
sir.
was enjoying myself quite a bit.
As you should, and they have that new menu that they're introducing tonight
Oh, there's a
at
new menu.
Gamebridge. Oh, yeah,
I
they've
did not
got
know that.
some burgers and some hot dogs, which I know
Oh,
they already have, but it's like a twist on them, a little
okay.
more gourmet, and a
Oh,
chicken parm sandwich, which is interesting.
okay. Hmm.
Yeah, yummy.
Well, NBA championship calls for an updated menu, I guess.
Absolutely.
So, Kit, in addition to sports, um, what stories? What are Kit stories? Because, and what I mean by that, a Cameron story is anything to do with transportation, logistics, traffic. You know, those are Cameron stories. What's a
Yeah.
Kit story?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, obviously swimming. So anything swimming related, that is
Mm-hmm.
my beat.
Mm-hmm.
But as the morning reporter, I do a lot of sports stories. I'm not essentially a sports reporter because I'm not on
Mm-hmm.
the sports team, but we preview all the games. We
Mm-hmm.
do the game recaps. We get everyone excited for the Pacers, the Fever, the Colts, everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely kind of a indie sports beat reporter. But I also like to do like people interest stories. So anything light news I love, but I'm also not afraid to do that hard news, like breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being a morning reporter, we do breaking, as you know, Cameron,
Mm-hmm. As
a
I know.
lot of the time, especially in the summer here in Indianapolis. So we're always at the scene first, mind you, but
Mm-hmm.
that can be really intense and you see a lot of heartbreak and a lot of grief, but you're doing really important work. And so that breaking news is always something that I do like to cover. I don't necessarily enjoy it because it is a very depressing,
Mm-hmm.
heartbreaking matter, but I know that it's important news and that people need to know what's going on in the community.
Definitely
Mhm.
depressing.
Definitely depressing. You've seen a lot of stuff and a lot of heartbreak for families, but I even had a man come up to me last weekend when I was at the Woodruff Flea Market.
Mm-hmm.
I love that event. Oh my gosh. If you have the chance to go, you guys should go. But he came up to me and he said, I really want to shout you out and the whole team at Fox 59 because the work you did when my son was murdered
Mm.
was, really integral in getting the person caught and then also honoring his late son. And so that work that we do, yes, it is very hard, very intense and depressing, but you're really helping a family grieve.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite part about the morning show? Because
Ooh,
I talked with, first of all, you got to shout out our morning photographers. Hang on, just hit the wrong button.
Marcus.
Marcus, yes, yes, yes. There we go. Now I hit the right button. Marcus, we've had Marcus on, and then Earl, and now we have
Yes.
Austin, and I've had Marcus on.
Austin.
And so I got to have the others on to introduce, all the institutional knowledge that they have. And what I appreciate about Marcus, and I told him this was, um, I hate the 4 a.m. live hit. I think it's pointless.
Me too.
And I've said this. This is not something that is new. I hate the 4 a.m. live shot because
Mhm.
we're driving all over Timbuktu to stand on the corner at 4 a.m. to tell somebody a story, and I'm like, just couldn't have waited until 4:30.
I
But
know.
what I appreciate about Marcus is a lot of those live hits, you're pulling up seconds, minutes before you're going live, and Marcus always had me ready.
Yes.
Has my handheld mic right there ready to go, so I can jump from the camera,
Mhm.
do my thing, and then I can stop and get my thoughts together.
And take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Yes.
Yes, because there's this adrenaline rush when you're driving, like, especially if it's like, hey, we need you to be live down in Franklin. I was like, what?
Yes. And it's wild because you're also simultaneously trying to read over your scripts,
Yes.
make sure that you say everything right and that
Mm-hmm.
you're not misinforming the viewers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so hard is because you're trying to juggle that, drive to location,
Mm-hmm.
do your hair and makeup. I mean, for women, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we even have a
Mm-hmm.
lot more hair and makeup and la la la, all that kind of stuff to do. And it's 3 a.m. and you don't know who's out on the road.
Right.
People are coming back from the
Yep.
clubs or doing whatever. So you also have to be very aware of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yep.
the 4 a.m. slot, man,
I
enemy.
I
Enemy
have
territory.
I have often thought about that, when we're out, because sometimes, depending on the story, we're out the door before 3 o'clock, and on
Yes,
the road driving to wherever, and it's like, man, there's people just coming home from the bars, and I'm already going to work.
I
Like,
know.
what are we doing wrong here? I think
Or
about
what
that
are we
sometimes.
doing right?
I
Because when
suppose
everyone else is headed in for the workday, we're done, and then
that
they're
too.
all jealous.
That too.
So, there's it's a give and take, but I would
Yes.
say out of all the shifts I've worked, I like the morning shift
Hmm.
the best, for sure.
Why is that?
Because we get the majority of our day, we get to enjoy the sunshine, we can take a little nap after we have our morning coffee and then wake up, go work out, eat
Hmm.
dinner, hang out with family, friends, and just kind of have a life outside of work. I feel like when I work dayside, sorry daysiders,
Hmm.
dayside is that 9:30 to 6:30 grind.
Hmm.
And that's just your whole morning and your whole evening.
Hmm.
So, and then you also have to wait in traffic
Hmm.
at that 6 o'clock traffic hour, and that's just so I think, especially having the morning anchors and our morning team, I love
Hmm.
everybody here at Fox 59 and CBS 4, but man, just it's really good energy.
Well, I know Angela Ganot's a big fan of Kit Hanley.
Oh, I'm a very big fan of Angela.
Well, it's good, and she's a good person to who have be a fan.
Oh, yes, she definitely is, and she's been a mentor to me. Both her and Lindy and Daniel and Scott, just all of them have been amazing mentors and helping me, integrate into this morning shift. Because when I first started, I don't know if people know this, I was hired for nightside reporter, and that's what I
Oh.
yes. So that's tea. I was hired as nightside reporter, and when I got here, immediately I was taken into our news director's office, and he was like, "Hey, like we're short on mornings. Can you please fill in for a few months?" That few months turned into now 14 months,
Uh-huh.
over a year.
Now I kinda remember that.
So that was an adjustment. And at first, I just sat there and I was like, "Oh my, I don't think I can do this. Like, I'm not a
Mhm.
morning person, but I've taught myself to be a morning
Mhm.
person and
Mhm.
have quickly begun to love it."
Well, and the thing that people, don't know about the morning shift, and I'm sure people have asked you, "Hey, do you see people who work at night?" Like, "Hey, how often do you see Burchell, and do you see Dan?" And Brian Wilson is like, "No, I never see these people.
Right?
I shouldn't see these people because they work the exact opposite side of day, that I do." And so but what people don't realize is the morning show was the only shift here that you are on TV the entire time.
Yes.
Like,
Oh
there is
my
no break.
gosh.
You are on the show starts at 4 and is off at 10, and you are on air the entire time that you're at work, where the other
Yep.
shifts aren't like that.
Yep, that's exactly right. And to your point, I had not met Beershell or Brian Wilkes
Other tall people.
until a month ago at our Indy 500 talent shoot. I
Mhm.
was on the track and Brian Wilkes was like, "You're tall. Why are you almost as tall as me?" And I was like, even the talent here, even Brian Wilkes, who I work with, who I haven't
Mhm.
met yet, didn't even know I was that tall. So it was kind of funny, but he's hilarious. Beershell's amazing and she's
Mhm.
beautiful. She's a
Mhm.
queen. And
Mhm.
it was just so nice to actually be able to interact with them and just finally meet them in person because I watch them on TV all the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
But it's crazy. Had been working here for a year and
Well,
hadn't met them yet.
you met all the tall people, so there's you and Eric and
Yep.
Beershell and Brian, I would say, are the tallest people in this building.
Yes, and that is
Yeah.
right. And funny enough, I'm actually neighbors with Eric now. We
Oh,
live in a
really?
duplex. Him and Bailey are on one side. My boyfriend and I are on the other side. And so whenever I'm coming home from work, I see him sometimes. I'm like, "What are you doing here?"
How did that happen? Was that an accident?
It wasn't an accident. We both lived in Broad Ripple, and
Mhm.
I was living in an apartment, and he had told me he was in a duplex. It's actually a really funny story.
Mhm.
So it all started with Melissa Crash.
Mhm.
Melissa and Ben were living in this duplex in Broad Ripple.
Wait a minute, you moved into Melissa's place?
Yes, when
Oh.
Melissa moved out, Eric moved into Melissa's place. Then I told Eric, I said, "Whenever you move out, I want to move in." It's just been like a lineage of Fox 59 people.
Uh-huh.
And then his neighbor actually ended up moving out before he did. And he said, "Kit, neighbor's moving out, move in." So now there's two Fox 59
Uh,
people.
and he's in Melissa's old house.
Yes, and then I'm on the other side, and it's funny because our landlord, he's like a huge Fox 59 viewer, so he
Mhm.
wants to keep it in the Fox 59 family. He's like, "I don't have to do any vetting for you guys."
Yeah, I know where you work.
Right,
I know who you
exactly
are.
that.
Well, that is, an interesting, crazy little story because I know about Melissa moving, and she got her new house,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't know what she did with it. So small world indeed.
Definitely. Very small world. We love Broad Ripple.
I hear, and it's not a bad drive from here at the station either.
Not too bad, about 17 minutes, and then in the morning, it's only like 12.
Yes, because you're slicing right through everything.
Oh, yeah.
So before you were here at Fox 59, where was Kit Hanley?
Yes. Okay, that's a great question. And this is also kind of a pipeline story because we have so much talent here that actually worked at WTHI or WTWO in Terre Haute,
Mm-hmm.
both Terre Haute stations. And so I was at WTHI. I was the weekend anchor and also the nightside reporter.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great time. It was my first job out of college. My uncle, he's the Democratic chair there in Terre Haute. And so I had some connections there. He kind of helped me get my foot in the door because years ago, Cameron, you would know, it
Mm-hmm.
was really hard to get into the news industry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely shifted over the years, but having a contact that could really kind of get you in touch with news directors or help you get your foot in the door, that was really big. That was
Mm-hmm.
really important,
Mm-hmm.
especially as an athlete. I never had an internship at a news station over the summer because I was swimming, competing. So that kind of
Right.
put me a step
Oh,
back.
so you never had an internship?
Never had an internship, but I did work for LSU Tiger TV as a
Okay.
sports reporter. So we covered the 2019 Natty Champs, Joe Burrow,
Okay.
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. That was definitely, you asked about big stories.
Mm-hmm.
That was huge.
Mm-hmm.
That was huge. But that was college. But I went to LSU, WTHI, now here to Fox 59 with a 6-month break in Belgium in between.
And what were we doing in Belgium?
All right. So my path is a little different than a lot of people's,
Mm-hmm.
but after I finished 2.5 years at WTHI, I followed my boyfriend who plays professional basketball to
Mm-hmm.
Belgium, and we were living in a little city called Leuven, Belgium. There's actually a lot of Americans there because it's a
Mm-hmm.
college town,
Okay.
and they have, I guess, one of the most academically intense colleges in the whole world in this little city of Leuven. I
Okay.
think it's called LU or something like that. And he was playing for the Leuven Bears. I was there, and then I have to be working. So he was still
Mm-hmm.
there. I kind of had an opportunity to take this job at Fox 59. So I left. He was there for 3 more months, and then we kind of met up in the summer again. But he's now in Canada playing for the Toronto Raptors G League team. Shout
Okay.
out
Okay.
Pascal Siakam.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there
Mm-hmm.
we go. Who knows? Maybe a Raptors to Pacers pipeline.
Could be.
If the Pacers administration is watching, let us know.
That's right. Well, kid, you got the in. You know people over at the
Let us
Pacers. You
know.
know, pick up the phone and let them know.
Come on now.
So, but where are you from though?
I'm from
You're
Indianapolis.
from Indianapolis.
Yeah, the North Side, which I feel like a lot of people don't know I'm from here, but I'm a North Central grad, St. Thomas Aquinas grad. So shout out 317.
So, and then why Terre Haute?
Terre Haute because of my uncle. He helped me get my job there,
Okay.
starting in that smaller market.
It's good to have family in your first small market.
Oh yes. Where did you come from?
I'm from here, but my first TV market was Flint, Saginaw, Michigan,
Okay.
where I
Oh,
do have family. So that
yes.
I was either going to go there or work at a station in Dayton, Ohio. I
Okay.
got an offer to work at both WHIO in Dayton and an offer to work at WNEM in Saginaw, Flint. And part of the decision, part of the decision was that I had family who lived in both Saginaw and Flint.
Dayton, Ohio is a pretty good market to start out in,
It
isn't
is.
it?
It is. They were both at the time like 70 and 73.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah.
that was going to like a that was a large small market or a small mid market.
Yeah, starting in the 70s is great.
Yeah.
Because Terre
So,
Haute was like 130 something.
so
So,
I was blessed, had some good opportunities.
oh, definitely. And Michigan's beautiful.
Yes, I enjoyed my time there. But Ohio could have been cool too,
Yeah,
you
for
know.
sure. Dayton, you got the Flyers.
But it's all about that timing and and also Michigan called first.
Yeah. Hey,
Um,
gotta go with it.
but this is funny how that all worked out. But I'll tell that story on another day. But it's funny how it all leads into the next chapter of where you're gonna go. So
Yeah.
speaking of next chapters, where does Kit want? Where does current Kit see future Kit?
Whew, that's a good question. Well, I signed a 2-year contract here.
Mm-hmm.
and I do love it here. So I want to start off with that. I
Mm.
love Indianapolis. I love working here at Fox 59 and CBS 4. It really has become a family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice having my whole family here because my whole family lives here. So,
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, I would still be here, maybe at the anchor desk.
Mm-hmm.
I love being out in the field,
Mm-hmm.
but, you know, if there were an anchoring position to open up in the mornings, like
Mm-hmm.
that would be, I would love that. That would be like the next move. Who knows, years down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if things do end up working out with Tyreek's career as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is working out now, but if you
Mm-hmm.
were to have to go somewhere long term, signed with a team,
Mm-hmm.
then that could take me elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are committed.
Good. Good.
So yeah, we'll just have to see where things align with that. We've been doing long distance for a long time, but for now, I'm very happy here. I even left Belgium to come here.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all
Mm-hmm.
know I'm very happy here.
And you're not terribly far from Canada right now. Do you
No.
make that drive or do you fly?
Make the drive.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've done both. I've flown and driven, but I honestly think driving's fine. It's 7 hours. I
Mm-hmm.
know there's a whole thing with like Border Patrol right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there in November, so it was kind of before things got a lot more serious. So,
So totally random question. When you drive there, do you drive through Detroit and cross over, or do you drive through Buffalo and cross over?
Detroit.
Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So then you drive across Canada then.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought I was almost there when I passed the border,
No.
like stop or whatever. And oh my gosh, it was like 3 more hours. Yeah, it was. And
Yeah.
it's all farmland,
Really?
which I didn't realize. And it's funny because a lot of the houses on that New York-Canada border
Mm-hmm.
right there, a lot of them have like the USA flags, even though
Mm-hmm.
they're in Canadian
Uh-huh.
territory. So
Uh-huh.
it's kind of funny.
Yeah, because I know that drive to Detroit to that border very well, because the drive
Yeah.
to Saginaw and Flint was 4 hours.
Oh,
And if you just keep going, and when you get to I-75, you make a left and you go to Saginaw. But if you keep straight on 69, you end up in Canada.
hey, you know it well. I just
I
follow
did.
my maps. I
I
had no idea.
I know it very well. I know it very well. And in fact, I got it when I was a young whippersnapper. I used to be able to get in the car and I could make it on 1 tank of gas
Mm-hmm.
and without having to use the bathroom.
1 tank.
Oh yeah,
What car were you driving?
my Nissan Altima, my 2004 red
Okay.
Nissan Altima, baby.
Okay, you should
No,
be the
no, actually,
spokesperson.
no, that's a lie. I only had that car for a second. It was actually my current car that
Mhm.
I still have.
And what's that?
It's a 2013 Nissan Altima,
Oh, okay. And the other one was
a 2004 Nissan Altima.
Okay, so you're an Altima guy.
Yes, we've been
Nissan
Altimas.
stan.
That Nissan has taken me to Saginaw,
Mhm.
Arizona,
There we go.
and I still have it. So when I got the car, it had 50,000 miles on it. Now
Yeah.
there's like 189,000 miles on it.
Oh my gosh. How far is the drive to Arizona?
Well, you only make that drive once.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
24 hours from here.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna say, because my car, we're a Honda family. So my car has taken me to Louisiana. It's taken me to Canada. Where else? I think Louisiana was the farthest I've driven my car, but that was a lot. That was like 12 and a half hours.
Yeah, that's a
So,
ride. That's a
whew.
ride. Well,
Yes,
hey,
it
Kit,
is.
we are out of time. We got to go.
No.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we'll have
Can
to
we
do.
stick around?
We'll have to have you come back, and we'll
Yes,
talk some more.
please.
So, Kit Hanley, real quick, we just got a couple of seconds. Tell people how they can get in touch with you.
All right, yeah, so you can get in touch with me on all my social medias, Kit Hanley TV. That's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And then my email, khanley@fox59.com. And I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning into Cameron's show. And thanks
All
for
right.
having me, Cameron.
Thank you for coming by, Kit. More of Fox 59 tonight coming up after this.